Commodity prices, food prices, wheat prices went into orbit. This really does feel like a new chapter in British politics, a new grown-up chapter, if you like, when it's all about the economy, stupid.
It certainly is. It's all about the pounds in the pockets of the people of the United Kingdom. And of course, let's not forget, it was only a couple of months ago that the Chancellor stood up at the dispatch box in this building to announce a raft of measures to do with helping people through their energy bills. Well, now that seems like it is nowhere near enough. It's not going to touch the sides of the crisis the country has slid into. And not just this country, of course, but the Western world as well. Of course, as Russia invaded Ukraine, we're moving away from Russian imports. The whole of Europe is moving away from Russian imports of oil and gas, but also lots of other goods are disrupted. We know that Ukraine's a massive wheat exporter. That's everything from grain to feed animals or the cost of a pint of beer. There's so much that has changed, even in the last month, that what the Chancellor said just a few months ago is no longer particularly relevant. So, of course, we have this statement today. And Darren's talked through some of the issues that may be addressed in the particular, some of the reports and leaks and potentially briefing that's gone on over the last week or so, and certainly the campaigning that's gone on. There's been a lot of anxious Conservative backbenchers calling for various policy changes. But there's also a narrative that needs to be set here. And one of the concerns of people, not only in this building in Parliament, but also in the sort of think tank world, is that word growth. Is what is the Chancellor going to do to boost our rather anemic growth forecasts going into the future? Because, of course, if you have an economy that is growing faster, even by a few 0.0 percentage points, that is going to bring in more cash than just about most tax rises that the Chancellor could ever envision could. So the watchword has got to be growth. How is that spurred on? Of course, the Prime Minister, as we will hear in Prime Minister's Questions from midday, and the Chancellor, as we'll hear half an hour later, have often said that last year Britain was the fastest growing of any economy in the G7. And that's true. But the forecasts going into the future look less rosy. So how can the Chancellor change that narrative? How can he turn the corner? How can he boost that growth? Potentially something to look out for is how business investment is taxed. We saw with what the Chancellor did last year in the budget, he introduced a super deduction, what's called full expensing, or a large amount of expensing, whereby companies can claim back tax for investing in machines and the like. Will that be expanded today? Will he try and get the gears turning of the British economy by doing some specific and targeted tax relief? Quite potentially. And of course, that's what the Labour Party has been digging on as well. Will this be a high-tax, low-growth Chancellor, or will he turn that around today?